Mind Gap Podcast.
Welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin.
And we have a wonderful episode to get through tonight. We're getting through it. It's a slog. We know. It's a chore. It's a chore for you. It's not a chore for us, but that's all that matters is we're having fun. If you're having fun, then that's a secondary thing. But we have Adam Smestad back with us again.
Howdy. Howdy.
And it's exciting. Because it's always exciting to have Adam on here, but It's really exciting because the Mind Gap community answered the call. The call was, for every $100 you contribute towards the Love and Improv film project, Adam would very graciously consume a shot of Tabasco hot fire diarrhea sauce. And Adam has returned to commit to his pledge because the Mind Gap community got over $200 towards this project. So round of applause to all of the Mind Gappers for helping this project come to life. Before we do this, real quick, gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, for anyone who's not familiar at this point, let them know what's going on. What is Love and Improv Film.com and why should they go there and check it out?
Love and Improv
is... Just taste it a little bit.
Don't get started too early, sir.
Love and Improv is it's a feature film that we're doing. Tui State, Smoose Entertainment, Kara Haller, Stephen Raminsky are all the producers on it. Drew and I wrote and will be directing it, and it is like I said, our first feature film. We're doing a fundraiser for it currently. At the time of this recording, we've got about 1 day left to finish raising the funds. But like Doug said, Adam made a deal with the Mind Gap community. For every $100 raised, he would do a 1 ounce shot of this Tabasco sauce. Total, we raised $265 from the Mind Gap community. So Adam will be paying his dues tonight. Like I said, if you're watching this live, you can still go in and donate. Loveandimprovfilm.com. And on there's a Seed and Spark logo. You can click on that. You can go to our Seed and Spark page and donate any amount that you want to help us get over that finish line. Once that closes, that's not all that you can do. You can still follow us on all social medias. I think it's Love and Improv on Twitter, Love and Improv Film on Instagram. And then if you've got disposable income and you want to be an actual equity investor and make money as this movie makes money, you can talk to us about points on the back end. So we are also courting equity investors. So please contact us for those details. But the big one is just letting people know, because Doug, you and I have talked about how hard it is, even with this podcast. You've got the people that you know, your friends, your family, that's your first circle. The second circle is like acquaintances, and the third circle is the people that you don't know. And it's really hard with anything you do to break into that third circle and let people that you don't know make them aware of who you are and what you're doing. So by anyone following and sharing what we're doing, that helps us get to audiences that we might not reach naturally, and it increases the visibility and the viability of what we're doing. So that does go a long way. So if you haven't donated or if you're not able to, please follow us in the journey, share stuff that we're posting, and just be a general fan.
A like and a share is free, gang. Costs you nothing. So if you're worried about finances, inflation's crazy right now. Stock market's all over the place. There's bear traps. There's bull traps. Netflix just posted crazy earnings. Who knows what's going to happen? Are we going to go? Are we going to go to the moon? Who knows? But you know what? You don't have to worry about that. Like and share. Doesn't cost you anything.
You don't have to have diamond hands.
No, you don't have to do that. You know, you don't have to sit there and be analyzing this shit. Do I do stocks? Do I do futures? I don't know, man. Is it options? Is it long? Is it short? Buy, sell, set a limit, set a stop. I don't know. You don't have to worry about that. Like and share. Costs you nothing.
Thank God.
All right. With that being said,
All right.
I think it's time to get to it. So, as we get ready, I want everyone to repeat after. Punish his butt.
Nope,
Yes,
hold on.
punish.
Nope, wrong one. We're gonna do a little rock loop for Adam while he's doing
All right,
this.
let's do this. Let's do a
Oh, this is
single
gonna take
here.
forever and a week. Oh, Jesus, Mary.
Oh my
how
God, look
big
at
this
that.
That is.
I feel really bad about this all of a sudden.
Oh my God, that's way more than I thought.
Yeah, when you said the shot glass, I'm like, oh, it's just a little bit. That's a lot. That's a lot.
All right. Well, thank you very much to all the people who donated. Also, no, thank you. This is gonna suck. But hey, one down. 3, 2, 1.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh,
See?
that looks
Oh,
painful. Oh
It's
my
coming.
God. That's, well,
Yeah. Oh my God.
I might stop at just the 2.
you know what? I don't blame you. I think you've given, yeah. Oh!
Finish him.
Holy,
Oh,
holy Lord. Holy Lord.
Adam, I tell you what, man.
Oh,
You get a kids cheering for you for that one. That is.
oh,
How
that
you
sucks.
feeling, man?
Oh, there's such. I think I was that close to vomiting.
We're,
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Holy,
So,
it's not
you
good. Better.
okay, buddy? That head, it doesn't sound. Are you okay?
Oh my God.
Adam, jeez. Gosh,
I gotta step away and get more.
that's painful. Here he goes.
Oh, oh,
this is how
You
we
know
like to
what?
open a show, you know? This is how we do it.
That's. I was gonna say.
If you're
sometimes-
just listening, he just took 2 shots of some very thick and viscous
that is a
hot
wonderful
sauce.
description.
So,
Now, look,
all right, God, he's pulling out the ready whip.
there it is. There's some people who have a high tolerance for this, and it's
Yeah.
nothing to them. But look, by most standards, this is 23 to 33,000 on the Scoville unit, or the Scoville scale. That is a lot for, I would say, the vast majority of people. There are some people who love it spicy and can't feel it, but I think what we're watching right now is proof positive that the average person.
Well, here's the thing. You all have seen Hot Ones. There's meat. It's some sort of texture attached to this. They don't just drink the sauce straight, let alone do 2 shots of it.
man.
How's the flavor? You know, what sort of notes are you catching in it?
fire.
Fire.
This
So,
fire.
Adam, what are you
Fire.
most excited about with the Love and Improv film? What are you most excited about?
We're trying to bring out some pretty cool talent. Cecily's strong, and we're trying to talk to her and some other people. I feel like my voice is going wet. I may have to stop. I may have to step off.
Oh boy, I really, legitimately, I am starting to feel. Oh, I really hope he's okay.
Oh, crap.
Oh shit.
This may have been the best episode ever. I don't know. Like,
My biggest concern is I just want Adam to stick around for the film.
did I miss the chippy?
Oh, Jared, you're gonna have to watch it on
Off
playback.
camera. Oh no.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is. I think there's some things going on off camera. You might be able to hear in the back. There's a lot of sneezing going on. I think maybe some retching.
Have some milk at him. Oh, he's had about 2.5 mason jars plus some ready whip. So,
Oh, there it is. Yep, we're.
and some rum. I don't know if rum is going to do that.
Oh, oh God.
Machine.
Yeah, I might have to call it, guys.
All right. Well, Adam, you've done your job. See you later, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
See you, pal.
We love you.
Bye.
Oh, boy.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. Well, I like the concept of doing an interview. Like, I understand Hot Ones now, where you try to talk to someone through that pain.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is, that's something special right there. Let me tell you.
So, Mind Gap community, remember, you did that to him.
You did that.
So thank you.
Yeah. Is he not doing a whole episode like that? No, he was just here to pay the piper.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
he paid the piper on that one.
The piper. Godspeed to you, buddy. Adam, we're all rooting for you. We're all rooting for your tummy.
I don't think I've ever felt this bad about, someone fulfilling a promise,
Same. I like, there's the only solace I'm taking is that he offered.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, man.
Yeah, if you were just listening to that, he looked pretty miserable.
Yeah. Adam puts up with a lot. Like, he's not, he's not someone to shy away, and for him to be just like incapacitated like that, that's some true pain he was going through.
Yeah. So good job, Mind Gap community. Good job to Adam. We did it, gang.
I'm just curious because he said if we raised $2,000, he would do the one chip challenge. And I want to know, what is the Scoville?
I love this is one chip challenge, and one of the things was death. I was like, what?
Those who dare to face.
Oh, it's a 2 million Scoville.
Now I don't know if he would have. I don't know if he could have done that.
2 million. Additionally, chip will turn your tongue blue to prove you dared to take on this year's one chip challenge. Oh, so that has Carolina Reaper and Scorpion Pepper.
Well, fuck that. Again, it's just that Jared says, how much do we need to donate for Justin to do it? If you listen, we've got 1 day left as of recording this. If you can get us to not to our green light goal, which I think we need about $1,700 more or something like that to get to that. If you can get us to all the way to the top to 15 grand by Friday morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. If you can get us to 15 grand by Friday morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Time, I will not do the one chip challenge.
One chip challenge.
I will do.
How bad do you want this movie made, sir?
A hot sauce. I will do the one chip challenge.
Yes.
You if you can get us to $15,000 by Friday, then I will do the one chip challenge.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. That's right. So that's just $4,500, gang. Who's got $4,500? Figure it out. Remember, figure it out.
And I will do the whole show. I'll do it at the top of the show, and I'll do the whole show after I do that.
Punish his butt.
You're welcome.
Yeah, boy, that will be that would be a real great episode, I'm sure.
I'm just saying, you're welcome in advance, but you have to get us there. So,
yay, peer pressure, says Jervis.
You guys,
who's got $4,500 laying around right now that they want to donate to a really good cause? Not only will you help fund this film, but you'll help Justin do the one chip challenge. So,
one chip challenge. And here's the thing: peer pressure your friends to donate and say, then tune in to watch this asshole take a one chip challenge.
Yeah, baby.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, baby.
You guys can make it happen. I have faith in the Mind Gap community.
Yes.
Make me hurt.
Hurt him.
In the words of the philosopher Noah Reno, Doug.
Did you know that squirt is pee? And did you also know that I don't care?
There you go.
It's true. Those are facts. Thank you for finding a way to use that, because I was I had another way to do it, but that also works. Ew, we don't need to see your asshole when you do it.
What? That wasn't part of the deal.
By the way, did you guys know you can watch Mind Gap Podcast live on YouTube right now, like Jared, and you can communicate with us while we're doing this, and your comments could make it in the show. YouTube.com/MindGapPodcast. We live stream the podcast on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central, and I host a video game stream usually on Saturdays, but I got something else that's happening over the next several weeks. So I will be alternating Fridays and Saturdays around 8 p.m. Central Time. So this Friday, October the 21st, we're doing the brand new Jackbox Party Pack 9. We're busting it out and we're playing it. So Friday, 8 p.m. Central. Come hang out with us. We're playing all the new games. If there's room, come play with us, or at the very least, join the audience, vote and play along. It's great. So it'll be awesome. That's fun. Also, check us out on all our social medias at MindGap Podcast. Please check out our Discord. Join the community. Get to know people like Jerbis. Link is in the description down below. Check out our merch at redbubble.com. Link is in the description down below. Like and share. That's the most important thing. Like I said before, that shit's free. Like our YouTube stuff, subscribe to us, share it around, and also leave a comment. Communicate with us. I want to shout out 2 people in particular. One, Mr. Slotty Bartfast. That guy religiously will like and retweet our stuff on Twitter. So shout out to Slotty for that. And second shout out goes out to Emilio, aka Mr. E. That guy is constantly engaging with our content on YouTube and on TikTok, and I can't thank him enough. Thank you so much for doing that. It helps us out a lot. Engagement really matters. So if you're looking for real simple ways to help us out and to help us, march our way to partner on YouTube or just get more engagement online, that's all you gotta do. Like our stuff, engage with us on there. It means the world to us. It helps us really move forward. And if you feel like throwing a couple bucks our way, patreon.com/MindGapPodcast. We appreciate you. I love it. Jared's gonna be there for Friday night. That's gonna be fun. I'm excited. It's always good to have Jared in the mix.
Yes.
I play games with Jared in a minute, so that'll be fun.
He brings swear words from another country.
He does. He sure does.
Yes.
And it's super exciting. And that's why we love it, because we are international. You fucks. So let's get into our first topic for tonight. This is a little thing called digital espionage. Wait, I can do that.
I was going to say you can do it better.
I can do that.
We both knew.
We both knew. I love how we were like, hold on, everyone just chill out. Everyone chill out. All right, here we go.
Tonight's little ditty. Tonight's first topic is a little thing called digital espionage.
That is, first off, not the voice I thought you were going to go with. So I was very taken. Again, that's the audio uncanny valley for me.
You're looking at me going, that's not your voice.
That's not your voice, Doug. And second, not only was it not the voice, it glitched halfway through and your voice cracked, and it was even worse than normal, and I don't like it. I don't like that voice. Keep using it.
Nice. But was it more dramatic, Justin?
It wasn't more dramatic. It was more official.
Okay. That's fair.
It sounded like a narrator was telling me that we were going to talk about digital espionage.
Goddamn right. Digital espionage. So this was something that was shared, I think, by Slotty. It's a Twitter thread from @laughing_mantis, a guy named Greg Linares. And I'll be honest with you, the specifics, the nitty-gritty of this doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I'm not an IT person. I don't necessarily understand the ins and outs of hacking or, just general infrastructure when it comes to tech and things like that. But the gist of this is this fellow said during this summer, an East Coast company specializing in private investments detected unusual activity on their internal Confluence page. I don't know what Confluence means.
Confluence is it's like a wiki, internal wiki page.
Gotcha.
It's a place where it's a receptacle for different documents and stuff.
Gotcha. There was originating on their own network. And so essentially what they did, they started checking what was going on, and they found that there was someone who had gained partial access to the Wi-Fi that was logged in. And so they started tracing it, and what they found was they went to the roof and they found a modified DJI Matrix 600 and a modified DJI Phantom series.
So the first one was one of those big drones that you see like that you would see more like something like a film would use. And the Phantom is a little bit smells like the white ones.
Gotcha. So confluence is when prisoners are on Instagram. Read a fucking book, Doug.
Of course, the Australian knows about prisoners.
Of course he does. So this one of them was carrying a Raspberry Pi, several batteries, a GPD series mini laptop. Wow, there's a laptop attached to it. A 4G modem and another Wi-Fi device. So it was located near an HVAC vent system and appeared to be damaged or hindered, but still operable. And they found out that the Phantom drone had originally been used a few days prior to intercept a worker's credentials and Wi-Fi. And then the data was later hard-coded into the tools that were deployed. And then they were used to directly target the internal Confluence page in order to target other internal devices from credentials stored there. So...
Insane. It's insane.
It said the attack had limited success, and it appears that once the attackers were discovered, they accidentally crashed the drone on recovery. So, to summarize, this setup was estimated over $15,000 for a one-time attack scenario. The attackers are spending this range of budget in order to target your internal devices and are okay with burning it. This is the third real-world drone-based attack this person has encountered in 2 years. And I guess... originally, this was done kind of in the midst of the pandemic because so many people were working from home and people's home Wi-Fi was way less secure than a typical company's. Right. So people started getting the idea to see how they could utilize these sorts of tools to hack and slash and burn it all to the ground. But I find this to be terrifying.
It's terrifying that this can be all done. I guess the thing that I'm not, the thing I wish we could talk to a tech expert about is what the purpose of using the drones is. Because I feel like, could you not, in using a drone, could you not just park near the facility? Do you have to get it in a certain proximity to where something is located? Or that's the only thing that I'm kind of confused on the logistics of. But that being said, the fact that someone has figured out how to do all this is absolutely horrifying.
I think my guess would be that I think it's probably more stealthy to park it on the roof as opposed to like have a car parked outside the building.
I mean, can't you just get a big van and put like, Kevin's Paint Company, and then in the back of the van, you've got the whole, we've seen it in movies. Yeah. It's got to be possible.
I'm sure it's possible.
You just have a whole tech setup in the back, just monitors beeping at you, and three guys named Sergey just, sitting there.
Don't touch the dials, like that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Well, considering they were able to trace where it was coming from, it probably, made a lot more sense to have something like a drone because... Yeah, I'm assuming it was successful and they figured out, oh crap, someone's onto us, they could just fly it away,
Yeah.
Sort of situation. So I guess it makes more. Now, obviously, it's more costly to do this, spending $15,000 to, hopefully get some information.
Which makes me wonder, like, what's the return on what kind of payout are they getting on gathering data like this? Because if they're willing to burn $15,000, the payout's has to be well worth it.
I mean, if they're holding digital ransom, they lock people out of their system, or they spread stuff, and then they're like, all right, okay, pay us $1 million, and we'll give you the keys to get back out.
That is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, so absolutely terrifying. And not only that, I told Jill about this. She's like, great, they're going to ruin work from home. These fucking assholes. Because if this is more vulnerable, it's like then we're all gonna have to go back in the office. And I don't want to go back in the office.
Yeah, that's a great point though, because if this becomes more of a thing, everyone's remoting in, and like we with my 9 to 5, we're remoting in to we've got some pretty sensitive data on our interwebs and everything, and we're through these secure connections, but again, how secure is secure, right? Like. That we think it looks all, I got to log in and authenticate, and I've got a separate app for that and all these things. But really, if these guys are fucking flying drones around with, teeny little computers attached to 4G hotspot. Like, it just seems so MacGyvered together, and they're successful at this. How secure is secure, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's one of those things where originally I thought two-factor authentication was really obnoxious. Now I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm used to it now.
Absolutely.
It's no big deal. Like, I would prefer that because honestly, at the end of the day, I fucking hate passwords. I hate trying to remember all the different passwords. I pay for a password manager to help me with that. It's $5 a month, and it's totally worth it to me.
I've been thinking about doing that, honestly.
Yeah, it's super nice. It'll autofill in information for you on websites, and it's the best. And you have to worry less and less. It'll also identify if you have duplicates, so you can kind of track that stuff. It will suggest insane passwords for you, and then it obviously it keeps it there, so you don't have to remember it. So super duper helpful in that regard. And because I just got to the point now where I'm like, I was like everyone else for the longest time. I was using the same password for everything.
Sure.
And
it's
then
not an uncommon scenario for people.
I was like, I just can't keep going on. Like, I gotta figure something out. And plus it was always just because then for some things, you know, different places require different, requirements, depending on which site you're going to. So some of them would have an extra character or a capitals and numbers, and some of them wouldn't. And it's like, I'm getting really tired of trying to remember every single goddamn one of these. So it would that by itself was just like a load off of my mind. I'm like, let's just dump that somewhere so I don't have to remember it.
Yeah.
But honestly, one of the things I love most about my phone is like facial recognition for opening apps. I'm like, I love it. It's amazing.
God, it's amazing. If it doesn't work for some reason, I get irrationally angry. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I absolutely love just being like, look at my face. It's me. Great. Now, like, I don't have to be like tap, 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 tap. Like, it's so much easier doing that. I appreciate it. Jared says all his passwords are MindGap Rules 69 exclamation point. I mean, yeah.
That's all of ours too. So
yeah,
yeah.
The problem is someone's going to figure out how to get around facial recognition. You know,
it's only
inevitable.
Yeah.
It's just an ongoing battle of who can outwit the other one, you know, as far as trying to figure this shit out. And that really sucks because, you don't want to see any data breaches or anything like that. But can't just be I don't know. In
the text thread, the thing that just amazes me is all the attacks and the counterattack, like the attacks and the defenses that these people go through. It's bonkers to me that they said they did something like they put like some sort of they activated a tracer in the Wi-Fi signal or something, and it led them to the roof. The fact that they were able to lead them, it said go up. And they were like, okay, must be coming from the roof.
Yeah, the team deployed embedded Wi-Fi signal tracing and a fluke system to identify the Wi-Fi device. This led the team to the roof. And it's like, what?
Right.
That's wild.
Before it would be, it's located at this position. It's like at this latitude, longitude. But now it's like, cool, it's like 4 floors above you.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane that people have. And I know we probably sound so rudimentary. People are going, of course they have that shit. It still blows my mind.
Hey, man, that's not my field of expertise. All right.
Yeah.
You want to talk about farts? I'm your man. You know, you want to talk about Marvel movie? I'm your man. But like, you know, when it comes to this shit,
I've been tapping Doug pretty hard on Lord of the Rings stuff. He's my guy on that.
Yeah. He's like, I just finished this finale. You got time to talk? And I was like, I sure do. Let's talk. You know, we talked it out, you know?
Yeah.
So that's wild to me. It's terrifying. And if anything, I think every IT department and every organization should be reading this Twitter thread, and they should be reminding people. It is October. I believe October is like IT Security Awareness Month, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it?
It's either October or November. I can't remember. So, y'all, you should be making training about this and be like, hey, this is a crazy thing that happened. Be careful. And people are like, but how do we do it? And I was like, I don't know. Stay on the VPN. I don't know. I don't know how that shit works.
Cyber Security Awareness Month is October, Doug. You are correct.
I knew
Look
it.
at you.
Doug's new podcast, Marvel Farts. You goddamn right, Jared.
Oh my gosh.
Goddamn right.
That's America's ass right there.
That's right. It's America's farts, you know?
Yeah.
They smell like firecrackers, you know? And burnt flesh.
Burnt flesh. And hot dogs.
And hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
And boiled chicken.
Yeah, America. Talking about what kind of sound each Marvel hero makes when they fart.
I don't know. It sounds like a fart. I mean, I don't know. What do you want? You talking like pitch? What are we doing?
Sure. Give me a Marvel character, Doug.
All right, Hulk. I don't know, man. I feel like it'd be more powerful than that. You know how he does the thunderclap? You know, with his hands? I don't know. Could be. I mean... Yeah, that's the Hulk. There we go. Yeah, it's got some...
you got the reverb one. That's good.
Yeah. Nah, that's like a Captain Marvel, you know?
That's Captain Marvel. Short,
yeah.
but powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, burp, get it out of here.
Yeah. I think Ant-Man's would probably be...
Probably, but not in that form. You know, not when he's a little guy. Wait, so, all right, here's a dumb question. If Ant-Man is basically just a human in smaller form, when he farts, does it smell just as bad? Or does like he fart and it just kind of like poofs? Is this like a little fart?
Right? Could he crop dust? He's the ultimate crop duster, essentially.
Right? This is a really dumb thing to cover, but it's a good question. So, like, would he...
I think it's as potent. I would think it would have to be.
But it's not going to occupy the same amount of space, though.
No, that's true. It is.
But per square inch or per cubic meter or whatever of volume, it's probably going to be pretty intense, I would imagine. Right. Or is it the same as anything else that farts that's that size, you know? You'd argue if he could punch like a normal human at that size... then his farts would also probably be as potent as if his normal size. So that seems like if he farted, he would probably kill most things around him, you know?
I would fully agree with that. I think the punch argument makes the most sense to me. If the punch is just as potent, so is the fart.
I'm going to go ahead and mark down this time code real quick because this is going to make a real juicy clip, I'm sure. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's not as big as the Ant-Man going into Thanos' ass. You know, but
I mean, look, it's in the same vein, and I would also say this though too. It's as far as other animals being that small, they are naturally that small. They're not compacted down. Also, different gut bacteria.
Very true. They eat different things, different gut bacteria. I mean, She-Hulk farts just like Hulk, but people get angry about it and start defending Hulk's farts as if they're an air freshener. You're right.
That is exactly how the internet would respond to that.
Exactly. They'll be like, she didn't earn those farts, you know? She was just, gifted them, you know?
Right.
How did her farts get so powerful?
Right.
That's just like some Mary Sue shit right there, you know? No pun intended.
So, digital espionage.
Yes. So, like they say,
And that was digital espionage.
Did you say espionage?
I don't think so, but that may have how it came out. Espionage. Hey, it gave me an accent. That's so cool.
This might be the fix that we've been looking for.
Dude, we need something, some automated, AI generated voiceover thing that would just change your accent.
Absolutely. That is what is actually needed. If someone could create that is what is needed in this world.
Right? That'd be really, really fun.
Enough with cybersecurity. We need something that can change accents.
Right? Let's do it. I want to be able to talk like a Scottish person, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Feel you.
You feel what I'm saying? All right. Now we turn our attention to, a very near and dear subject that's near and dear to our heart. We keep talking about it, but we're back at it.
Artists say AI image generators are copying their style to make thousands of new images. And it's completely out of their control.
I can't wait to go back and listen to that because I don't have it on because it's very distracting.
Came through Contray. And it's completely out of their control.
Hey, what can I say? It's perfect. I paid $20 for this thing for the lifetime use of this shit.
Can you do the next 5 minutes just in that?
Just see what sort of shit comes out.
Just see what kind of, as we just have a natural conversation about it.
It'd be really amazing. It'd be really cool. So this comes from an article from Business Insider by Beatrice Nolan, and essentially, it's a fascinating because we've talked about this on several episodes in general. AI is just something that's fascinating to us in general. But we talked about AI generated images, whether or not they should be considered art, about how someone submitted an AI generated image into an art contest and they won, and people were upset about that. And people are saying that graphic artists and artists in general are going to lose their jobs from all this. So we've had our kind of discussions. This is an extra, like, sort of further peek into this, because in particular, there are a couple of artists that are, so one of the artists that they talk to in this is a gentleman by the name of Greg Rutkowski, and he's kind of known, he has a style. It's kind of like fantasy. I don't know if he does all fantasy stuff, but in particular, they have, I'm going to share this with the folks if you're watching. You can see this top one is Greg's photo, like this picture that he drew. And this is an ad, which I wish I could make go away, but I can't. But it's called Dragon Cage. And then below this are 4 images that were generated. I can't remember if this was dall-e or if this was OpenAI, which I hope they're the same thing. But essentially, they typed in Dragon Battle with a man at night in the style of Greg Rutkowski. And just Stable Diffusion, I guess, was the thing they were using for. So as you can see, like, these don't look exactly the same, but they're pretty damn close. Especially this bottom right one looks pretty interesting if you compare the two.
I think what we were talking about off mic was that, again, it doesn't look exactly like you could be like, Greg painted. It's not exactly the same, but thematically and just like the tone of the paintings, the color choices, all of that. So it's not an exact duplicate of his style, but it's close enough to where you could say, oh, that looks like it might be in the same style as if you were familiar with that artist. And this is just the beginning of AI doing this. So if it's already getting that close, I think that's where where I take my biggest pause is the fact that it's already getting that close. And I'm just, as a clarification, I'm on his Instagram page right now, and it does look like a lot of what he does is high fantasy.
Okay.
D&D style, stuff like that. And he definitely has a style unto himself. Like, these all look very similar to, you can tell the same artist did all of these.
Gotcha. I guess it says right here in the article that he's known for creating fantasy scenes of dragons and epic battles that fantasy games like Dungeons and Dragons have used. So
yeah.
He's known for that. He said it used to be really rare to see a similar style to mine on the internet. And then he says, yet if you search for his name on Twitter, you'll see plenty of images in his exact style that he didn't make. And he says, I feel like something's happening that I can't control. My name is being used a lot to generate AI images along with the names of other working artists. And this is really interesting. He says, people are pretending to be me. I'm very concerned about it. It seems unethical. And if you've never used this before, essentially how it works is there's a couple of different ones out there. There's some free ones. I think Crayon is one of those. Forget how, is it Cray? Yeah, it's Craiyon. And then it's not as powerful as some of the other ones, but you can generate some stuff with it. Another one was what was the one that we used? I forget. It was one that
we used on Discord.
It was like middle something or
Discord AI art generator. Midjourney
is another one, and then dall-e 2, also known. It's through the OpenAI group. I think is.
That's kind of like the top one right now, right?
I think that's the top one. That's the cream of the crop. You can sign up for an account on that, and they give you like 50 free credits, which I assume is like, your generations. And then every month you get 15 free credits. So you can also pay for more to have access to more things. So essentially how it works is you type a prompt into like the search bar. It could be something like an astronaut riding a horse on the moon, hyper realistic. You give it some prompts and then it will spit something out based on your prompts. Sometimes it's insane. I was sharing some really fun ones with Justin last
say,
night.
There were some humdingers in there for sure.
Which, you know what? Maybe we should share some of them, huh?
Pulling them up right now.
Maybe we should do that so people can see like the amazing thing.
Show them the one that I hated the most.
I mean,
let's start there.
Well, I'll tell you which one we're going to start with. What we're going to start with is we're going to start with photo of an oversized grizzly bear wearing sunglasses and a leather jacket being interviewed on the Joe Rogan podcast Experience. If you're just listening, I'm sorry. But basically what this is it looks like a legit fucking bear wearing a legit leather jacket with sunglasses, and it's sitting down and it's ready to podcast. I mean, it looks amazing. It looks really, really cool.
I would call that hyper realistic. Like that is that the way that they have it looks like they photoshopped a bear's head onto the body of someone who was sitting in a podcast studio. But what they did is seamlessly put the bear's head in this jacket with headphones on, and so like you cannot tell where. There's no stitching. There's no like. It is very, very, very well done. Yeah,
it's crazy. And then this one was interesting. This was a photograph of the exact moment sliced bread was invented. Now, obviously, there's some disturbing parts to this. Number one being the guy's eyes. He looks very unwell. I just realized too, it kind of looks like he has a bloody nose on the left side. I don't. It's probably not, but it's just
he looks unwell.
Yeah, his fingers, his right hand is.
No teeth. I'm zooming in. There's no teeth in there.
He's got some bottom teeth.
I don't think those are teeth.
Okay, this is very sharp gums.
Yep, I think that's. Those are fingernails coming out of his gums.
There you go. And if you look at his right hand, it's like in the bread.
Right.
It's like it's dipping in.
Yeah,
it looks like he's giving the bread the shocker. But that's the thing with these. If you look closely at some parts of it, it seems to fall apart. But at first glance, you're like, this looks pretty damn good, you know?
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got this one's also a good one. A capybara with a gaming headset playing video games alone in his room at night. That looks perfect.
This one
perfect.
disturbed me because, again, we talked about not only is his hand placement on the mouse, like we've all tried to do shitty Photoshop. This isn't like you can tell this is not somewhat like AI actually compiled this because like the hand placement on the mouse, the two fingers or knuckles or whatever they have are actually on the left and right mouse key clickers.
Yeah.
And then he's underlit or uplit under his chin by the illuminated keyboard. It is the attention to detail is shocking on this.
It's wild. Really wild. And then probably my favorite one is
I still can't look at this one.
Enjoy. Elmo gets a colonoscopy.
Because it's accurate. This is what happens when Elmo goes in for his colonoscopy.
Oh my god, it looks amazing. Elmo just looks horrified. Like,
right.
He's like, oh no, what's happening to me? Like, they don't put him under. Apparently, he's not, tranquilized. The doctor just looks very casual, the surgeon or whoever right behind him, no big deal. But the scope is the weirdest part. Like, you're getting to see like what's going on. Because I'm assuming that what's behind him is a TV.
That is my assumption as well.
Because I can also say it kind of looks like there's also a tumor or something that's watching him from a hole in the wall. It could also be interpreted with that. But my guess is that, this is what we're seeing like in his butt. And there's also a terrifying Muppet that is a part of whatever is in his butt.
A cycloptic Muppet, mind you.
Yeah, it was really entertaining just to see Elmo's Elmo's reaction to that is extremely entertaining. And then, this one's just fun real quick. It's just, The Rock hides in the rocks, which is fun. That's always a good one. And then the one that Justin really hates, which, is incredibly disturbing, is banana human hybrid competes in Olympics. And this is incredibly unsettling because this is where a lot of the facial features start to really, like, if you look closely, they're very disturbing. Yeah. Especially in the low, I think it's hard to say which panel is the most disturbing. I think
it's got to be it's the left side for sure.
Well, I say the bottom right looks kind of terrifying, partially because whatever the banana human hybrid is doing, it's just screaming while it's holding its hands in front of its face. And the guy to the right has really weird body makeup. Like,
he does.
First of all, there's a shoe missing on his back right foot. I think his front foot is facing the wrong way. His hips just look weird. It's incredibly disturbing. But then you got the bottom left, which looks like, I don't know, man. Someone let
his front foot is facing the correct way. His body's on backwards, Doug.
Maybe that's what it is. The bottom left just looks like some wild creature was let out of a cage, and it's very unsettling. And then the top left, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's really
the top left. That athlete's arms do not match the frame.
Agreed. Yeah, that's what you get for a banana human hybrid, I suppose. And then, of course, last but not least, I kept telling Justin just one more, and then I kept sending him. But this one I thought was very entertaining. It was Danny DeVito in Jaws, and it's a lot of kind of. I just realized I looked at some of the words in the top middle. Dan, wow, Dervis.
I didn't look at those.
Oh my God. They're disturbing but hilarious at the same time.
The top left looks like like something out of a Monty Python illustration.
It does. Bottom right looks like something out of a body horror film, like a John Carpenter or whoever did The Thing. I forget. Looks terrifying. Yeah, just. And the top right's like the buddy, summer movie, buddy movie with Danny DeVito and the shark. They're hanging out in the water and they're gonna get you. Terrifying.
They're gonna get you.
Just terrifying.
All that to say is that the quality can change drastically depending on what you're using, what the prompt is, et cetera. There's a lot of different things like that. But the fact that now certain AI and some of the better programs out there like the dall-e 2 and all that are getting to the point where you can say in the style of, and you can replicate these known artists' style. It's problematic for a couple reasons. Number one, for the artists themselves, you have the possibility of losing out on your bread and butter. Like this is how you make your living, by having companies hire you. And if companies can just go on and get stuff that looks close enough, some of the bigger companies, we've talked about this before, will probably still pay you. But some of the smaller companies, like if I really liked this guy's style and I'm like, man, Tui State could really use, something like this, but not, or if the D&D campaign that we start, ends up taking off and it's really entertaining and we stream it, oh man, we'd love to have this style of thing. We could absolutely do this, and this guy's powerless. There is currently no legal precedent to stop this, because you're not actually stealing his stuff. You're just telling a computer program to do it like he might do it.
Right. And
so there's that, but then it's also on the consumer side that there could be a problem, because someone, if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to pay, maybe I pay 10 grand for a painting from this artist or a replication, a painting from this artist, and it is a replication done by an AI. There's a lot of different levels where this could go south.
Well, also there's another artist in here that said people are selling prints made by AI that have his name in the title. Something like Rusty Robot in a Field in the style of Simon Stalenhag, which is a super aggressive way of using this technology. So not only are people generating it, but people are selling it. Like that is really uncool. I don't like that at all. But again, the law is so murky on this because copyright law specifically covers actual derivatives of an original work. And you can't necessarily copyright or trademark a style, because it's in the style of this person. Now, some could argue that maybe you can't replicate that style, but I was telling, Jill, of course, likes to ask, hey, what are you guys talking about? And I brought this up, and she kind of brought up music. And she goes, is this kind of like plagiarism? Like in terms of music? I go, well, not necessarily. I mean, I could play a song in the style of Blink-182. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which, by the way, they got back together and they're touring. So if you didn't know that all, you should.
I meant to ask you how because they dropped everything on Friday, didn't they?
They dropped a new single. I'm not really a huge fan of it, but I'm curious to see what the rest of the album sounds like. So that single did do it for me, but I'm curious. I see that all the time. Actually, that's some of my favorite covers right now. The artist Alex Melton. He's on YouTube. Love that guy. He'll take a lot of some of my favorite pop punk stuff, and he'll be like, "Oh, here is, we'll just say like, what's my age again, but like a country song,
Right.
Or he'll do something like Semi-Charmed Life's. Oh my God, I can't think of anything right now. My mind's going blank.
Unlike Dave Matthews Band.
No, it's Third Eye Blind, Semi-Charmed Life. That's the name of the song. But they do it as if in the style of Blink-182. And so they'll take all these songs and they'll do country songs, they'll do gospel songs, they'll do like heavier versions. So they find a band and they'll do it in the style of them. But it's the style. It's like a comedian who is telling jokes in the style of another comedian. You'd be like, hey, that's Dave Attell or that's Tom Segura. Right. They're doing it in the style. It's probably kind of hacky, but it's not necessarily, if they're telling their own jokes, then, it's a weird gray area. And
very much so, yeah.
I recently said, I love this because this is cool and it doesn't affect me. Hearing some of these stories, it's making me uncomfortable for people who are specifically trying to do that. I think if you're just looking to generate some sort of content to use for your own personal purposes, I think that's okay. If you're looking to intentionally copy the style of an artist and then sell prints based on that, that's fucked up. Mm-hmm. That's really fucked up, and I don't like it. It
absolutely is. Yeah, because, I mean, that, again, now you're talking about it going after someone's livelihood. You're talking about something, and there is, again, I think the thing that I have that hurts the most is that there is, and I'm sure there down the road there will be, but there's no recourse for these artists. There's no way to stop this or to legislate against it or to police it at all. And down the road, again, this is all such a new technology. Down the road, I'm sure that will come, but how much money will these artists be out before that happens? Will they still have a career? Like that second Swedish guy that you were talking about, he's like, look, my name is already being used to sell fake art. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're using his name, they're not saying it's his, but they're saying it's in his style. Like that's absolute bullshit.
Well, and they also make a similar point as well. Rutkowski does that says, we work for years on our portfolio. Now suddenly someone can produce tons of images with these generators and sign them with our name. Right. And so it says these generators are being commercialized right now, so you don't know exactly what the final output will be of your name being used over the years. Maybe you and your style will be excluded from the industry because there'll be so many artworks in that style that yours won't be interesting anymore. And that's a real genuine fear. Because I could see someone making the argument, which was the whole reason why like trademark and copyright laws exist, is the idea that it helps protect and promote innovation. If I create something that can be instantaneously copied, what's the desire or what's the reward for trying to be innovative and creative? If someone can just be like, well, I'll just take what you have and be like, in the style of Doug, do this, and that sucks. Like I would look. Our podcast isn't huge or anything like that, but what if for some reason someone's like, I like what they do, I'm just gonna have an AI generate that, and then I will just put it out there and I will post the feed and I will take in any sort of revenue or whatever, and that would suck because it's like, hey, that's not us. It's like, yeah, but it sounds like you and it's pretty close. So and it just makes endless amounts of episodes, all the time. It's making an episode as we speak. So, that would suck.
I feel like that's what Dudesy's trying to do, Doug.
Well, someone also did something. It was they were doing. It was a podcast with Joe Rogan interviewing Mr. Apple. What's that guy's name? I can't remember any names or thing. No, the guy who made Apple. What's his name?
Steve Jobs?
Yeah, Steve Jobs. I was like, I can't think of any names tonight. But they did an AI generated like Joe Rogan having Steve Jobs on his podcast, and it sounded terrifying. Like real terrifying. And there was also I think a couple years ago, it was Joe Rogan interviewing Joe Rogan. It was an AI that was just.
I remember you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Didn't that eventually devolve into something insane? That conversation?
I think I remember listening to it and I was like, it had a pretty good back and forth, but I don't know. Joe Rogan talks about bizarre shit anyway, but
that's true. Yeah.
It was pretty bonkers, but
it was because there was so much content he had put out there that they were able to feed almost any word that he's ever said into. Yeah.
Yeah. The AI was like, oh, we have tons of stuff to pull from, to study and train. Cause that's what they do is they train these AIs to, consume certain things and then generate their own stuff based on that. So, and again, this is just the beginning. Like this isn't even like the final product of where we're going to go. I think it's easy to extrapolate that this will turn into video as well, that people will be able to type in a prompt and a video will pop out, and that's wild.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, look, if you take all the stuff we've talked about with AI over the course of the run of this podcast, we've talked about this art. We've talked about people being able to replicate James Dean and putting other people back into films. We've been able to talk about voice AI, like with Joe Rogan and the voice AI, deep faking and all this kind of stuff. So if you, like we said, if you kind of start to compile everything that we've talked about, all the things we've seen happening over the last few years, and to your point, this is not even the tip of this is a fleck of the tip of the iceberg, just the very, very top, where this could go. To your point, like if you get a powerful enough machine that's a few years down the road and you bring all this together, you easily could have a TV show, a movie. It just spits something out. Who do you want to see? I want to see Ted Danson and James Dean and Charlie Chaplin, and then Audrey Hepburn, throw her in there too. And I want to see all of them in a rom-com that is set on Mars that, is written in the style of Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
Go.
And it will have access to all of those sorts of things that it's, studied, understands Aaron Sorkin's style, understands like these actors and things like that. It can compile all of that information and it can spit something out. Again, to a certain extent from a consumer, it's kind of cool. The idea of like, I'm going to make my own TV show that's just for me. And I'm going to, now granted, we all know it's going to be clunky as fuck, but
for a while,
as it gets better and better and better, that's some scary shit.
I don't, like thinking about that, I don't like the idea of the industry going that way because again, I will say that as cool as it would be as a consumer to do that, I also like knowing that there are people out there that are working hard to create original idea. Like I like knowing there's a human element behind it. And I'll be curious to see if down the road my position changes, but right now I'm going to draw a hard line in the sand and say I'm on team not a fan.
Yeah.
For the AI generated stuff, I do see its benefits, especially for just the bystander, just like the average, like whatever. I'm just going to piddle around and create something for my D&D campaign user. Those people, I see the benefit. But by and large, I am in team not a fan of this technology progressing.
I'm more curious than anything. I am cautiously curious because I think it's amazing just to see what's possible. But I think it would be really hilarious if it's like, all right, AI, I want you to watch every movie that was ever been made then make a movie, it's probably just going to repurpose something we've all seen before, because that's all we have at this point is repurposed films.
That's exactly,
you know what I mean?
it too. Yeah.
Like, it's going to be like, well, based on what you've shown me as my source feed, like, I'll get you a movie and it's not going to be original, you know?
Right.
Now, you can
Here's
also
Van
argue,
Wilder.
here's Fast and the Furious, you know, like, it just makes the original Fast and Furious movie. Like, it just makes that.
Yep.
You know, and you could also argue that, listen, we all are inspired by things, and we all kind of create versions of things that we are inspired by style, and we all kind of stand on each other's shoulders to create things. So it's all this kind of communal pool of ideas and thoughts. And there's what's it called? It's not groupthink, but there's the idea that there's simultaneous thinking happening at the exact same time. Where at the time of Harry Potter, there was like 6 or 7 other properties that had a boy that had black hair and glasses that somehow was associated with magic, all came out at the same time. Like, it's wild to think that happens. And people that didn't know each other, that were not plagiarizing, they just all had the same idea. Now, if you think about it, it's like 7 people and the billions of people on the planet had the same idea. Right. You know, it's not huge, but it's still pretty impressive to be like, these people were somehow influenced and inspired by this something that had them come up with a similar idea. So to that extent, it's like, you know, is AI any really different? And to a lot of extent, if we as humans are still striving to build on things, but we create from stuff that we know, I mean, it's probably a weak argument, but it's something that exists, right? You know, how people are influenced. But yeah, I don't know. A part of me would just love to see an AI created film that's like not clunky as shit, you know, like, just if I were able to try it, just type in something and see what I could get. Like, what would that be like? What would that feel like? Like, that would be interesting to see what would be possible.
I have the same curiosity as you in that regard. However, I can't get past the presumed Pandora's box that it opens. Yeah. So like, while you may like stop at that curiosity of like, I'm just curious, I can't like, my brain goes, yeah, but the minute that I type that in, we've passed a threshold where you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah.
Like,
and honestly, let's look at really what's going to happen. They're like, okay, here you go. Step up, type in the terminal. People are just going to make their own porns. That's what the first thing it's going to be. They're going to pick all their fantasies, all their favorite people, and they're just going to type them in, and they're just going to be like, giant orgy featuring, you know, and it's going to say all these people, and they're going to get what they want. That will be the very first prompt that goes in there. Undoubtedly. That's what will happen.
If we think that Christina Hendricks thing that we saw going down on Midjourney, if we think that was bad, just wait till the movie stuff's available.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you heard about this, Justin, but Overwatch 2, that game, some of the largest or the most popular porn searches are for some of the characters in that game.
Really?
Yeah. Recently, too, with Overwatch 2 coming out.
Oh, that's right. It just dropped. Oh, my God.
And Blizzard's trying to find ways to prevent people from being able to do that. But that stuff exists, and it is popular. There was a really funny video I saw the other day of this YouTuber who's like, I've never played Overwatch before. I'm playing Overwatch 2. I don't know who any of these characters are, but I'm going to name them. Let's go. And they showed a dude. He's like, don't know. Pass. They showed a girl. He named him. They showed a girl. He named him. They showed a girl. He named him. They showed a dude. He goes, don't know. Pass. They showed a girl. He named him. He showed a girl. He named him. Like, instantaneously. They're like, wait. Why do you know all these names? They're like, how come you don't know that guy? He's like, because I don't jerk off to him. That's why. You know, like.
I don't know, man. Look, I understand. I'm very well aware Rule 34 exists. I'm very well aware of it.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it all the time.
You and me both, man. You and me both. You know,
just don't. That's something I don't get. I don't get it.
I kind of do, but it's incredibly unsettling. Like, it's incredibly unsettling. Like, I understand because some of these characters are attractive. I understand that. And people are like, man, it'd be great to, to whatever.
Look,
but
Jared ogles, Lola Bunny. That's fine.
Lola Bunny's his kink, and that's totally cool.
That's totally cool, Jared. you know?
But yeah,
He
some
had,
of the
a,
stuff.
he had a, I don't know if you know this about Jared, but he had a stuffed Lola Bunny when he was younger. And he was like, you know,
I'd put my dick in worse.
Yeah, right?
yeah, it's his kink and it's okay.
It's
We're not
okay.
judging it. We just
No,
don't get
we're
it.
not kink shaming, you know?
No.
But the thing that's crazy,
Nope.
the thing that's crazy about those videos too is they're lovingly animated and created and shaded and like colored and everything. Like people have people are animating this, you know?
It looks like what is it? What do they call it? The movie sections of games?
Oh, the cutscenes, yeah.
The cutscenes. It looks like cutscenes from the games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, I just want to be at that editing bay where the guy's sitting there with his headphones on, just doing this. And he's like, hey, man, can I get some feedback on this? So like, yeah, dude, there's too much shine on the guy's balls. Like, there's no way. Based on where the lighting is, that's not going to happen. Like, that just wouldn't happen, you know? And like, they're going to give him like legit feedback on how to go. The motion's weird, dude. Like that's, yeah.
Here, look at this photo of a capybara playing video games. See how it's shaded? The lighting hits. Make the balls. There you go. Perfect.
But based on how this is moving, she has hip dysplasia. There's no way that's even feasible. It takes me out of it. That's too uncanny valley. Okay, like you fixed it. Okay.
Questions, we got the answers. All you do is ask. Practical, 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 practical. Ask Practical Doug.
I just didn't see how we topped hip dysplasia. So
No, blackout. You know,
done.
And scene. No, you're right.
I'm editing the scene.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta do it. That's how we gotta do it.
If you've never been here for Practical Doug before, Practical Doug is a tiny Doug that lives inside of Large Doug, and he guides Doug on all of his life's journeys. He's a very practical fellow, and he delves out practical advice. You can actually ask Practical Doug questions. If you join us live on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central, you can ask in the chat. Join our Discord. There's a specific channel for Ask Practical Doug, or on any of our social medias, hashtag Ask Practical Doug, and tag us. And you can get your question answered by Practical Doug. Practical Doug, we've got a good one today. It's a very topical Ask Practical Doug question. So a lot of people have been working from home for almost the past 3 years. And in that time, they've gotten very comfortable and cavalier with certain body functions. Now, with many people returning to their offices, how should someone deal with having to fart in the office? And a follow-up question, how should someone react when someone else farts in the office?
I guess the question is, what did you do before? Because I just farted in the office. So
you did. So you had no
at some point I had my own office, and that was dangerous because people would come into my office with the door closed, and it's like there's no.
I've been hotboxing it.
It's just like welcome to my funk, you know. Yeah, I've
that was the precursor to Uncle Doug's puzzle basement.
Uncle Doug's hotbox basement, you know, hotbox office.
Uncle Doug's funk box.
Yeah, and it's not. There's no slap in the bass here.
Nope.
Yeah, I think I always had I had bad just luck with it. I remember specifically working at a hotel. It was just me at the front desk. It was during the quiet time in the winter time, and I was like, oh, I gotta let this go. And then 5 seconds later, my boss just walks behind me, and I'm like, there's nothing I can do. We both knew that it happened. We didn't say anything. She walked right through it. As she walked by, the wind picked it up and it went into my face. I'm like, there's no way she didn't smell that. Like,
as she walked behind you, you just heard, oh.
I just heard her go, back, and,
right.
And there's just other times where I'm like, what am I going to do? Hold it in all day?
Well, I think this is the crux of the question is like, has it become, because we've just gotten more socially, we're like, you know what? Fuck it. There's a deadly virus going around. We survived it. Nothing matters anymore. Mm-hmm. Interest rates are, stock market's going fucking nuts.
That's right.
Let's just fart.
Yeah.
Is there a social a deviancy to it anymore?
I'm kind of a monster in that I just do it.
Well, that's fair.
Much to my shame and dismay at times. I went to go see a college friend a couple of years ago. I think it was 2019, right before the pandemic, and I was just like hanging out in the room with him, his wife, and their 2 kids, and I just, I'm like, oh fuck, I just farted, and it was a really bad one, really bad, to the point where they thought one of the little kids shit their pants.
Oh
no! And I couldn't let. They're like, oh my god! They immediately went over and started sniffing their kid's butt to be like, do I need to change the diaper? And I'm like, nah, that was me. And I was like, I felt really bad about it. And the woman, like the guy's wife, goes, well, I'm glad you feel so comfortable that you can just do that around us. And I was like, yeah, I like you guys,
And were you ever invited back?
What's that? Oh yeah, I mean, I've still seen them, and I still think about it every time I see them. I'm just like, I did that, It's just like, I didn't know how bad it was going to be. But
I would think it'd be funny if they came over and started sniffing you.
This is also pre-workout, Doug, so you know what kind of diet I was having back then. Just brats and mac and cheese. So,
on a completely unrelated note, I was just going through my phone before we jumped on here to record, and I came across the oatmeal cream pie box slapping video. Buddy, again, I'm going to send that to you. I want you to look at it and be so fucking proud of yourself.
First of all, don't know what I was doing wearing those old school Tampa Bay Buccaneer colors. I don't know what creamsicle. I wore that thing like twice. I'm like, what am I doing?
I love the fact that you remember what fucking shirt.
I remember exactly what I was wearing.
Amazing.
That shirt was that's a slender man's polo. That was not a plump man's polo, which is what I was. It was
horizontal stripes, man.
Yeah, not great. Not great. By the way, I want to say this too. I've gone back and looked at previous like shorts and stuff. You're looking thinner in the face, bud.
Thank you very much.
You're looking thinner in the face. Like, I'm like, hey, look at this guy. All right. Yeah. Okay.
We're getting there.
All right. Back to farts. Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually may not be the best with this because Practical Doug has just always been kind of like, what are you going to do? We're going to fart. We're going to fart. Try to make it the least awful, the least known. If you're not sure if it's going to be a real ripper or not, maybe go walk somewhere else, go to the bathroom, I suppose. I don't know. I fart so much that it seems if I always just got up and went somewhere every time I did it, they're like, Doug's got to fart. They're going to figure it out. Because also there's the thing is you go and you fart and then you have to wait. You just can't I used to think I just go and fart and then walk away. It's like, no, it stays in your ass. Like it stays in your clothes.
You got to get the leg kick.
You got to wait. You got to wait for it to come out. So it's like, listen, man, in eating healthy, the farts come, man. They either whether you eat bad or you eat healthy, the farts are coming. All right, they're coming to get you. And so, I would say, obviously, if you're in an enclosed space with someone, don't do it. If it's open floor plan, I say let it rip.
Yep.
Hopefully, it's not a loud one. If you can kind of guess, try to do it that way. But and if someone else is doing it, I'm just like whatever. I mean, as long as someone's not like. I watched this amazing, I think it was a TikTok or something the other day of this guy, man, and this woman are in bed and he goes, oh no, honey, there's a spider. There's a spider. And she gets on the covers. She's like, oh my God, I'm killed. He's like, okay. Just rips a fart out of the covers and Dutch ovens her. And he just starts laughing. She goes, that is not funny. And she gets out of bed. She goes, you're sleeping on the couch. And he just laughs uncontrollably. If you're doing that kind of stuff, if you're like farting in your hand and putting it in someone's face, like that's not cool, Sure. But listen, same old. Whatever you did before the pandemic, just try to do that, I suppose. Just keep it kosher as much as you can. But I don't know. Right. Hey man, you got to fart. You got to fart.
You heard it here. If you got to fart, you got to fart.
It's true. It's true.
There you go. Practical Doug has spoken.
If you've got a fart, you just gotta fart. Practical Doug.
What did he say?
It came out perfectly.
I think he said the N-word.
No. Doug, you have to stop using this phone.
Oh my God. You just sound like Kanye West saying really anti-Semitic stuff. Like it was wild. It was bad.
I don't know what you were saying, but this just started reading Kanye West's Twitter feed.
This is crazy.
The weirdest thing.
Yeah, and it's not cool.
It's not cool. Not cool at all.
Dude, you're going to get canceled for that.
It's reading deleted tweets, man. I don't know how.
Oh, shit. Somehow it's connected to Parler. I don't know what's going on there, but it's not good.
Right, yeah. Truth Social.
Truth Social, baby. Well, thank you for the Ask Practical Doug. And as Justin said, if you've got a question that needs answered, you can always just ask Practical Doug. I'm here for you. I'll take care of you. take care of that butt. Justin, what do you got to recommend this week?
So I'm going to go and go back on something I think we may have recommended it previously.
Oh shit! Are you taking back a recommendation?
No. I think we might have said, "Hey, this is interesting. Let's see where it goes." I think we were like trepidatiously recommending it. Before that, when the trailer first dropped, you and I kind of ripped on She-Hulk, and we said this looks like garbage. And in fairness, the trailer did look like garbage.
Yes,
I don't think we were wrong based on the trailer. But after the show came out, we absolutely want to be fair and go back into a mea culpa if we are wrong on something. And I fully go back on saying that this show was going to be the show was great. I absolutely loved the show. It knew what it was. It leaned into being a sitcom set in the world of superheroes, and it honored what it set out to do, which was to be that. And listening to Jason Mantzoukas and Paul Scheer talk on a recent episode of How Did This Get Made, they were talking about how this actually borrowed from, there was a specific writer for an arc of She-Hulk in the actual comics, and it lifted directly, influences directly from that storyline, from that writer. And a lot of the people who were online bitching about, oh, they did this or they did that, the writer was just shutting them down going, hey, morons, do you realize that that's canon? I wrote it. It went into the comics. Marvel signed off. So everything you're pissed that the show's doing is irrelevant. Your argument is irrelevant because I, the author of the story arc, made that happen. So the fact that they had so much fun with it, the last episode is off the rails bonkers, and it might not be for everyone. I was all in for it. I thought it was hysterical. I thought it tackled some wonderful themes. It was very self-referential. And all I have to say is this: I want nothing more than Deadpool and She-Hulk to appear in a vehicle together and both break the fourth wall and then both address the fact that they're breaking the fourth wall. I want to see that happen. So sure. I strongly recommend She-Hulk, and I was very wrong on the trailer, and I want to openly admit that.
Agreed. I'm also recommending She-Hulk this week. I think it was a really solid show, and I was surprised at how much I like it. And I also want to start off by saying, gang, you don't have to like everything that's made. You don't have to. And just to the Butthurt boys who are mad that we said we like the Rings of Power, and they're like, the show's garbage. It's like, listen, you don't have to like it. You don't have to like She-Hulk. I would argue She-Hulk maybe wasn't made for you and I. I don't think we were the target audience for that. And that's right. Okay. That's okay. I really enjoyed it understood what it was, and it played into it, and it was true to itself, and I respected it. I enjoyed a lot of the commentary about just what it's like to be a woman, what it's like to be a woman in the workplace, what it's like to date nowadays. And I love the fact that it took place in the Marvel universe, and it was fun. They're short, fun little episodes, and I thought it was great. It was such a palate cleanser. It was so different from anything we've seen in the Marvel universe this far. And Tatiana Maslany was great. Everyone was great. Like it was.
If nothing else, because I know she's been in. I've never seen Orphan Black. I think I heard of it like on the peripheral of my awareness of shows that are out there. I really had no idea who she was. I come to find out she was in an episode of Parks and Rec, and I was like, oh, that's right. That was her at a much younger age. And I was like, that's getting started in her career. If nothing else, I'm happy that I was introduced to her as an actor because she was fantastic. Yeah. I loved her delivery, her take on the character. She's just charismatic on screen. I'm so happy I know of her now and that I get to follow this career because introduced me to an actor that I otherwise might not have been aware of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yes, I think if you're going into it, expectations should be clear that this is not your typical Marvel show in the sense that you're not going to see a lot of battles. You're not going to see a lot of fights. It's true, like Justin said, it's mostly a sitcom. There's occasional quick action sequences, but that's not what the show is. The show is following a woman who gets powers and how she deals with that. Like, so it's,
and
I
again,
think it's great.
It also references all a lot of the stuff that the Butthurt Boys were bitching about is addressed in the show. So like, it's very self-aware and very, it's aware of popular culture at this current moment. So I think it does a wonderful job addressing all of that.
Yeah. So definitely recommend check it out on Disney Plus. I think it's a fun show. Definitely do it. I'm with you, Justin. Do it.
Yeah. Do it.
Do it. All right, gang, that's the show for this week. Be sure to follow us on all social medias at MindGap Podcast. Please check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/MindGapPodcast. Please hit the like button on this video. Please hit the subscribe button if you'd like to, see all the stuff as it comes out. If you'd be so kind, comment below. Tell us what your favorite part about this episode. Tell us what you think. Did you like, She-Hulk? What do you think about AI arts and people taking that stuff? What do you think about digital espionage? What do you think about my AI voice? You think it's cool? You think it's banger? Do you hope that Adam's okay? Let us know. Like, hit us up in the comments. Even just your favorite emoji. That sort of engagement really matters, and we really appreciate that. Please, share us around. Let people know. That means the world to us. And as always, check out our Discord. Check out our merch. Check out our Patreon. All in the link in the description below. And be sure to check out Justin as well.
On Instagram and Twitter at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, Podbean, all the places where you can find and consume quality podcasts. You'll find us. Like, subscribe, share, rate, review, all those things. You can scrub share too.
Welcome to the Subscare Podcast.
It's Spooktober.
Spooky.
You can do all those things. Sharing is a big one. Just let people know we're out there. And then twoeast8th.com, and then 2east8th on all social media. And also, don't forget, Love and Improv, loveandimprovfilm.com, Love and Improv on Twitter, Love and Improv Film on Instagram. And as of this recording, you got 1 day left to help boost us and get us over that benchmark. And if we hit the $15,000 in our crowdfunding, so in 1 day, if we can raise $4,500, I will do the one chip challenge at the beginning of an episode, and I'll do the whole episode after having done the one chip challenge. So there it is. You can go to loveandimprovfilm.com, click on the Seed and Spark link, and good luck.
Good luck, indeed. With that being said, I want to say, Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Chat, thank you.
Listeners, thank you.
And you have a dandy fucking week.
MindGap Podcast.